Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ACE Youth Summit 2023. My name is Dita, and I will be moderating today's session on Creative Talks panel discussion. Today, we're gathered here to discuss about a very important topic that is at the forefront of our digital age, which is content innovation and monetization strategies. And today we are joined by very esteemed panelists. So let me introduce some of them. First, Winston Utomo, founder and CEO of IDN Media. Please join me to give him a round of applause. IDN Media is the Indonesia's leading media platform company for millennials and Gen Z, whose vision is to democratize information and bring positive impacts to society. Secondly, we have Ogi Baringbing, the head of live streaming at Lazada Indonesia. Please give a round of applause. Lazada is Southeast Asia's leading e-commerce platform, aiming to serve 300 million users by 2030, with a presence in 6 countries. And last, but definitely not least, Amanda Valani. She's the head of business development and creative innovations at Viva Networks. Viva Networks is the digital arm of Viva Media Group, who own Antv, TV1, and FIFA.co.id. Welcome to ACE Youth Summit 2023. Today, we're going to again talk about content innovation and monetization strategies. And as we know, digital age has changed the way we create and share our experiences through social media. And it definitely presents a lot of new opportunities and new challenges, especially when it comes to competition for attention. Today's society have a very small span of attention, and so success really defined by how we do innovative strategies and standing out in the vast digital landscape. So before we start, we are not only just going to listen from our panelists, but we will also invite you to engage with our panelists at the end of the 10 minutes of our discussion today for a Q&A session. So feel free to ask. There will be microphone coming to you later on. So without further ado, let's kick this off, shall we? So first of all, I wanted to ask all of the panelists here, can you share a personal experience that inspire you to create impactful content and also focusing that on digital platforms and to connect with audience on a profound level? Maybe Mas Winston, you can start.
Yeah, thank you. Hi everyone. So IDN Media started in 2014. So it didn't begin with a passion or a beautiful story. For us, everything has started with a problem. So back then in 2014, the reason why we started IDN Media is we realized there is one big problem in Indonesia. Can you raise your hand if you grow up not in the Jakarta area? So, okay, so 30%. So for me, I was born and raised in Surabaya, and Surabaya is supposed to be the second biggest city, but we feel that there is a big information gap that is happening in the nation. So people who live in Jakarta are around 4% of the population. Greater Jakarta area are around 11% of the population. However, if we see the number of content in the media, in the social media, 90% is about Jakarta, even though there are only 11% people who live in the greater Jakarta area. So 10% of content addressing 90% of population, 90% of content addressing 10% of population. So this big information gap is what sparks us to start IDN Media back in 2014. So that's why our vision is to democratize information. We believe that if we can provide a better access of quality information and entertainment to people from Aceh to Papua, that means that we can step ahead to better Indonesia. So that's why we start IDN Media.
Very interesting. Mas Ogi?
All right, so yeah, first of all, hello everyone. My name is Ogi Barimbing, but my full name is very mouthful. It's Partogi Hot Mangaraja Barimbing. Even in backstage, she laughs at my full name. And well, that's the typical Batak name. And I've been with Lazada for almost 6 years, but I've been in entertainment and broadcasting industry for over 16 years. So actually, it's really nice, as Winston mentioned, there are more and more platforms that can really facilitate us as, you know, all of us, I'm pretty sure all of us here are content creators. I'm pretty sure all of us here have social media. And it's really nice knowing that the advances of technology really have brought up here where we can, you know, we have the liberty to create the content anytime, anywhere we want. And in Lazada, particularly, we have live streaming platform where it enables content creator to not only, you know, having fun, you know, by posting their favorite content, but also getting incentives and also commissions. I will talk more about this later. But personally, I think we also need to remember that in order to create an impactful content, as mentioned by Dita, we need to pay attention to several elements, like probably Amanda also can add more on this. Personally, I think there are 4 elements. I called it FAME. FAME stands for fun, attractive, meaningful, and engaging. So these 4 elements, actually, it stands for itself. Fun means that we need to really have fun. We really need to enjoy our content, like putting on comedy, putting on giveaway prizes, giveaway challenge, and then A stands for attractive. So we need to really pay attention to how attractive we need to present our content itself. We need to be present. We need to look, you know, proper for our content and pay attention to every element like the backdrop, the lighting, the wardrobe, and everything. So that's attractive. M stands for meaningful. When we want to create content, it needs to deliver a meaningful content to our audience, to our readers, to our viewers. It needs to have a really imperative message that we would like to deliver to our audience. And E stands for engaging. So these days, content that is high quality, almost perfect, it never sells. Actually, the content that sells is content that has strong interaction with the audience. I think that's all for now that I can share, Rita.
Interesting. Mbak Amanda, maybe?
Okay, thank you. Hello, guys. I might to start with a question, actually. Who's here is a journalist? Or coming from media?
We see
Okay.
like 2 hands over there.
2 hands? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I will explain about my personal journey, my career journey. I started my career as a broadcast reporter. And typically, broadcast reporter has a vertical career line. Some of those become news TV presenters and also producer, but those who capable enough to lead the newsroom become an editor-in-chief, right? But I have a very different career path because my last role in Metro TV, well, I started my career in Metro TV. My last role there as a senior producer. So at the moment, I realized, at 2018, I realized that the digital revolution has disrupted the TV industry. So for the journalists, we need to pivot, in order to know how the digital platform change and how we can create content that engage to our specific audience on the digital platform. So I then moved into digital media startup called Narasi. The co-founder is Mbak Nana, and she is still now the co-founder. And we actually had tremendous digital content experiments to build online community, and also we create engaging content. Those 5 years are really important to me as a journalist, or as a TV journalist, and becoming a digital journalist. That actually really shapes our mindset as a content creator before coming into the digital platform, how to engage with specific community. We need to find our niche. We need to know their needs. We need to know their pain point. Because before in TV broadcast or news TV, FTA, we just create a massive content for everyone, just to spread awareness. But in digital, journalists need to learn the SEO, how the SEO works, the algorithms, and all of that. So that's how maybe content creators and also journalists now how to put into account, create an engaging content to a specific audience at the moment.
Perfect. And maybe still want to deep dive a little bit on your media experience, Mbak Amanda. You have a taste of traditional media and then moving to digital media. And so what kind of evolution in the media industry that you've seen, not just in Indonesia, but throughout Asia over the past decades? And what are the key trends that have changed that you've witnessed so far?
So the evolution is, it's very, we face a big evolution in content creation, actually. Somehow we cannot produce content that specifically for FTA TV audience and then match with our digital audience. Because, the FTA TV based on Nielsen, the ratings, the share. And the digital platform, it's more specific. We know exactly, how many views our content get viewed, and also, all of the key metrics, how many times our content are shared, and all of that. So this big evolution need big digital shift in terms of mindset. So the big evolution in the technology should align with changing of digital mindset of the creators, of the people who create content. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, content has become more personalized, right?
Exactly.
Targeting more niche audiences. Cool. Maybe Mas Winston, IDN Media has also transformed the digital landscape in not just Indonesia but the larger Southeast Asia. Can you share, a personal story or experience how IDN Media play a role in deepening audience engagements? Because obviously now content and information doesn't just come from the big media, but also personal content creators. And so how do you maintain that audience engagement and fostering meaningful connections with your audience?
Okay, thank you. So maybe I'll share an angle of how IDN Media evolve and how IDN Media keep engaging the audience in the past 10 years. So when we first started in 2014, our main value proposition is millennials and Gen Z. So that is our main value proposition. Back then, no one knows what millennial means or even Gen Z. If you see the Google trend, people start talking about millennials in 2017 and 18, it became the overused word. Now, Gen Z is the overused word. But we already believe in millennials and Gen Z since 2014. So that's the first one. 2016 is when we create a new platform that allows people to contribute content to us. So we call it the community generated content. So that is one way we can increase the audience engagement. So we have a platform that allows people to write content to us, and we curate with our machine and with our human editor before we publish. So by decentralizing content creation, we can have much more content and much more diverse content from all over Indonesia. And then as the company grows, 2017, we started to focus on this new sector called creators economy. So the story actually, end of 2016, there is one brand contacted us to work for the KOL campaign. This is 7 years ago, so KOL is not a mainstream word. We don't know how to do it, but we have a principle, if there is an opportunity, just take it first and think about it later. So we take the order, we actually quite mess up the campaign, but it teaches us a lesson that, wow, this is going to be the next big thing. That's why 2017, our main focus is on the creators economy. So we focus on creating businesses around creators and talent. And then 2021, that's what we see that live stream is going to be the next big thing in Indonesia. If we see in China, Japan, live stream is the main content format, but Indonesia, the biggest content format is still the short video in a vertical format or like a TikTok style. But the next biggest content format for us, we believe, is live stream because faster internet speed, more bandwidth for the users, cheaper bandwidth. Also, users want a more interactive content between the idol or the streamers and themselves. So we see that live stream is going to the next big thing. That's why 2021, we focus on live stream. 2022, we started to focus on the entertainment part of the business. Why we focus on the entertainment? Just to give you a bit of the macro perspective, Indonesia right now is around 4,500 in GDP per capita. The next phase is to hit 10,000. Whenever a country moves from 4,000 to 5,000 to 10,000, the main growth driver is coming from the domestic consumption mostly. And first is the middle class, the power of middle class. So the middle class, there are more people moving from the aspiring middle class to the middle class, which means they have more disposable income. When they're more disposable income, they want a better quality of life. So after the primary needs are being fulfilled. So the three industries that will grow, usually in other countries, even for example Russia as well, is the travel industry, F&B industry, and entertainment industry. Travel industry, which means that people who do not travel in a year now will have once a year a holiday to different part of Indonesia. F&B, people who don't eat out, now once a week or once a month they will eat out to the mall or to other restaurants. Entertainment, they will have more disposable income to spend on entertainment, which is for OTT, for virtual gift and live stream, for music, for going to cinema, for movies and so on. That is why we see the next 10 years of Indonesia, where the GDP will grow to over 10,000 US dollar per capita, we see entertainment will play a major part and the addressable market for entertainment will grow significantly. That is why from last year, we expand our ecosystem, not only from media, creators, live stream, and now adding entertainment to our ecosystem. Yeah.
Very interesting. Please? And if I can summarize, that's like changing your engagement strategy along with the customer behavior changes and the market expectation also changes, and also predicting what's going to come in the future and starting to build on the strategy from today. Right, and if you guys are not aware, if you know JKT48, IDN Media is the I guess owner of that brand. Such a big fan of what you do, Mas Winston. And maybe we shift a little bit to you, Mas Ogi. Lazada maybe has a little bit of a different take on this, right? As an e-commerce that serves 6 countries around Southeast Asia. When we talk about engagement, Mas Winston already said that it really depends on the audience, and each country, each segments might have different preferences, right? So how does Lazada, strategize on its content to make sure that it's always resonate and relatable to all of your audience across the geography?
Right. I think I'm just gonna start that in Lazada we've been, embracing the changing or the evolving landscape of e-commerce, and in a way that when we, form our strategies, we really need to pay attention to the local markets. I'm sorry, I'm still a little bit. So, I think before we create the content itself, we really need to deep dive into the local market. We really need to understand the local language. We need to know the local culture, the local barriers, challenges, even the trends, in order for us to be able to provide the content that is relatable with the local customer. And then after that, we can create the localized creative content. But of course, we cannot do this alone. That is why we continuously working with KOLs, influencers, creators, because we want a content that can resonate well with the local target audience, right? There's one thing that captivated a large number of audience, appreciated more by digital society these days, especially Gen Z, and I think the other two speakers would agree with me on this, and it's called authenticity. People these days are craving to have that kind of bond. They want to feel connected, and that is how localized creative content can fill in that hole. Like for example, in Lazada Indonesia, we have Merdeka sale. Merdeka, it means independence, by the way. So I think it's quite obvious. The objective of the campaign is to foster the celebration of Independence Day, of course. And the key activities will be something that related to put the exposures on local brands, and then the color tone will be, the color tone will be red and white, the colors of Indonesian flag. But that's just a generic example. To be more specific, Lazada Indonesia pioneered Harbolnas.
Twin dates, discounts.
Harbolnas, it stands for Hari Belanja Online Nasional. Oh, thank you, Winston. 3 seconds.
Take your time, take your time.
Sorry, I'm still sick. Yeah, so Harbolnas, or in English is National Online Shopping Day, right? Actually, Lazada Indonesia, we established it over a decade ago in 2012, because back then we found that there's a significant interest towards local brands. And it's still happening, it's still going strong. Local brands are emerging everywhere, right? And that is why Harbolnas is still happening this year, later in December. But if I may correlate this with shoptainment, actually in live streaming, we have our in-app live streaming channel. It's called Last Live. So in Last Live, we have various programs that promote different categories. For example, for beauty category, we have an IP called Last Beauty Besties. So it's a program that emphasizes on beauty tutorials, beauty hacks, review on beauty products that are well known among Gen Z. We also have Dapur Lazada, or Lazada Kitchen, that highlights home appliances and groceries category, and many, many more. Oh, there's one more. Sorry, I can get too excited when I talk about this. There's one more program. It's called Jalan Jalan. So Jalan Jalan is a traveling program where we feature local talents all around Indonesia to give exposure on beautiful places around the country, from trekking on Mount Bromo, to enjoying the beautiful seas in Labuan Bajo, even to seeing the batik process in Yogyakarta. But the super nicest thing is that our viewers can buy the products right away while watching the live stream. So that's actually the way we try to cater the needs, because we need to be able to cater to various markets, right? And we need to be really careful on delivering the specific types of content. So it's not only about making or creating the content itself, but also we need to know the target audience, the local market, and the situation that we are trying to hit. I think that's all I can share for you.
Interesting. So Mas Ogi brought up a very important term, shoptainment. where content becomes entertainment and turn into a shopping experience where of course we can monetize, right? And monetization strategies are very crucial in digital age for sure. So maybe I want to ask Thomas Winston, can you share a behind the scenes story about a successful initiative maybe where IDN Media can effectively balance the delivery of content as well as monetizing it sustainably?
For us, I think it starts with the mindset, yeah, that in the end, no matter how good the content that we produce, it has to have a business sense toward it. Because if we cannot monetize it, if we don't have revenue, then we cannot have enough capital to produce another content. So this kind of mindset has to be adopted and understood well by everyone in the company. So there should be, okay, so in the newsroom, there should be a clear wall between the editorial team and the business team. But there should be a collaboration between these two teams to be able to create program or content that we can monetize together. But it all starts, well, in IDN we have 5 customers. The first one is the TIMI, or the people who work in IDN Media. That is our first customers, and we focus to make sure that they can perform well. If they perform well, we can have more users, or more readers, or more people consuming our content. The more people consume our content, the more advertisers want to use our platform. So, like Lazada want to use our platform. So, because we have a lot of users, we have a lot of advertisers or clients. When we have more clients, the more partners want to partner with us. And when we have more partners partner with us, there will be more investors willing to invest in us as a company. And then we can have more capital to hire more people, and that the cycle goes on and on. So first is the understanding of everyone is actually a customers, and we should always think with the customers in mind. Like it's our team, for the people operations team. The main focus is to make sure that the team can work well. So for the product team, to make sure that they can create a good product and give chance to the business team to monetize the product. And for the business team is to be able to monetize the product very well. So by understanding this concept that everything connect to each other, and in the end, it's still a business, which revenue should be higher than cost to be able to make profit, but deliver value along the way. That is our focus, yeah. And in IDN Media, we're quite fortunate. We've been on the green, we've been profitable for the past 5 years, since 2018, and hopefully we can continue growing, expanding the company, while still keeping the bottom line healthy. Yeah.
May I add a little bit? Add a little bit, yeah? Because that's actually how I got connected with Winston. Because we've been working for quite some years, right? And actually the key metric, as mentioned by Amanda, the key metric for e-commerce is DAU, daily active user. That is why we work a lot with media, and particularly with IDN, we actually put media placement there that intends to bring direct traffic. Like for Last Live, for live streaming, actually we managed to get lots of traffic, to get a lot of unique viewers, UV, from IDN. So after this, I'm expecting a discount, of course.
I also expect a media order.
Live negotiation on the stage, guys. Very interesting. Now, maybe I want to move on to Amanda. So given the diverse markets in Southeast Asia, how do you tailor your monetization strategies to fit with different consumer segments?
Sure. So one of the FTA TV under Viva Media Group is ANTV. I believe there's less of you guys here watch drama series on ANTV anymore, because the segmentation, the audience segmentation for ANTV right now is, you know, the tier is CD, and it's most of them on the suburban areas. But the market is very big. You know, we actually, in the Viva Media Group, we diversify our market segmentation or audience segmentation, BC and CD. So, but the ANTV really targeting CD market in the suburban area. But we know the market for, if you're familiar with INTV, one of the FTA TV that the digital that I really supervise on or at the moment, they always play India series. But as we know, the youth or Gen Z millennials now move into Korean drama or Asian drama. My task and responsibility in Viva Media Group here is to create another program that engage younger audience and slowly shifting the audience market from CD to BC with Asian drama. But as a big traditional media group, we cannot, fastly pivoting. We need to make the traditional business running. Maybe Mas Vincent really know about how we create new industry, new market, but we still maintain the existing market or audience. So if we take a look deeper into Indonesian market, we have this in TV perspective, A, B, C, D segmentation. So in a Viva Media Group, we really categorize our segmentation and create personalized content that match their appetite, their taste, so that we can get bigger market size and audience because we diversify our segmentation with personalized content based on their interests. So, yeah.
Very interesting.
To add on Amanda's point, yeah, I think if we can share for people in the media content industry, one of the most important metrics is cost per content. How much do you pay per content do you serve? I have my PM here from our live platform. Yeah. I'm always emphasize on cost per content because if the cost per content is very high, you don't give us chance to succeed on monetizing it because it's impossible to make the platform sustainable. Why? Because we are competing with global media giants, social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and others, in which the cost per content is zero, or almost zero. And if their cost per content is zero, and if our cost per content is very expensive, and if they have better monetization strategy, then no matter what we're going to do, we will always fail. Yeah. No matter if we can have millions of DAU, but if our cost per content is just way, way too high, then it just wait until we fail. In the next 1-2 years, I'm sure we will fail. So that's why it's important for any media companies, TV, digital, anything, even the live streaming, like Last Live, cost per content has to be lower than revenue per content. If we cannot generate good enough revenue, make sure the cost per content is as low as possible, so it gives us opportunity to find revenue, to find the monetization strategies, and hopefully someday we can have that revenue to cover the cost per content. Yeah.
So it's not just about creating engaging content, but also how do we produce it in a manner that is very cost efficient and can bring revenue to the company.
Sorry, to add a bit, on our digital media, like IDN Times and others, 30-40% of our content is user-generated content or community-generated content. The cost per content we spend, we give them point. The more people view the content, the more money they will get. They can exchange the more points they will get, they can exchange the point into money. But the cost per content for the company to pay per articles is less than 50% than if we pay a full-time person to create the content. So yeah, that's why we always try to use this cost per content as the important metrics and try to have a content innovation strategy to reduce the content cost. Yeah.
That's very interesting. And by utilizing community, each of this different community can appeal to the people within that community and definitely helps IDN Media to kind of be relatable to all kinds of market segments, right? Very interesting. Mas Ogi, do you have anything to add on the subject, maybe?
I think that's a lot of thoughts coming from Winston and also Amanda, but we need to remember that this is Youth Summit, so probably some of the friends here are quite, confused with the term. So UGC actually in Lazada, in live streaming platform, so UGC stands for User-Generated Content, and particularly in Last Live, it enables brands, sellers, creators to independently produce their own live streaming content using their own sources. And also in Last Live, they can make a good use of the key features, key mechanics that is provided in our channel. There's also one more format. It's called PGC, or Professional Generated Content. So this is of like a high quality live streaming format that has a content that is carefully curated because it aims to build a strong engagement and also a strong relevancy with the target audience. Like, for example, again, in Last Live, we have a show that correlates with the fashion category. We have fashion runway. We even have karaoke that correlates with the hobby, and also a game show and many more. Actually, you can find friends here. You guys can find that type of content in almost every platform these days. So I think if I can connect with Winston mentioned about the community. So in Last Live, we have a content creator community, and it's called Last Talent. So anyone here can join, anyone here, I'm pretty sure all of you guys already have Lazada in your phone, right? Already, right? So everyone here is invited to join as a part of our Last Talent. It's easily accessible. You can just register through the Last Life Center portal, accessible in the account page. And again, as I mentioned, the sexy part about this is that they can make money out of it. Not only they have the liberty to create the content, but they can also gain profit for themselves. So I think that's the advancement of the live streaming and also media industry these days.
So as media, we have to be able to engage and collaborate with a lot of different community and professionals to enrich our content bank and to diversify our content, right? And so when we talk about, digital media landscape, right? Do you have any insights or advice that you can give to aspiring content creators out there? I think you have all successfully built media giants leadership in Indonesia, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of content creators out here and entrepreneurs who wanted to start their name, right? And jump into the bandwagon. So do you have any insights or advice to help them make content that's relatable, meaningful, and sustainable? Anyone?
Well, yeah, to compete with, this great ocean of content, I already, Mas Ogi already highlight about the authenticity. But the authenticity actually also means creators or media should have and show their values on certain issues. Because most of Gen Z or millennials or targeted audience right now really put their trust on not only brands but also the media publisher that shared same values. You need to show your values and be bold about it. For instance, maybe for a certain brand or advertiser that sells, skincare product that, really go eco-friendly, environmental friendly, and so on. but they need to be consistent on, like this Go Green campaign. But those are values that really needed by the customer or audience at the moment. So yeah, maybe authenticity also need to align with values. That's for me. That's for me.
Interesting. Mas Ogi, maybe?
So thank you for pointing that out because I think in Lazada, our strategies are always aligned with the different consumer behaviors and cultural preferences across Southeast Asia. And as one of the leading e-commerce players in Southeast Asia, I think we need to constantly do research. As I mentioned before, we need to really recognize and really know the target audience, right? And based on our internal research, particularly for Indonesia, the customers here, they favor discounts, for example, and then giveaway, and then best price, best quality, best service on their top products or top brands. And also we found that our customers here, they are very influential driven, meaning that they are, they are seeking for, they are longing for an interaction with their favorite KOLs or influencers. So having said that, in Last Life, we create various programs that feature KOLs that are experts in their fields. For example, KOL fashion designers, KOL chefs, KOL beauty makeup artists, and many more, because they are considered trustworthy and believable for our target audience. And I think we need to also remember about the engagement part. So live streaming itself, as Vincent mentioned, it's the booming industry. It's happening everywhere. But again, we need to really correlate with what our audience want in our program. And I think it's also related to the products, or I mean, when I talk about products, it's the key features inside the UI, inside the live streaming room itself, where we can, in Last Life, we have the generic features, likes, comments, shares, everyone knows about that, right? But we also have a rewarding gamified mechanics such as voucher rain, and then collectible voucher, voting voucher, because we want to give this benefit, this profit to our viewers. And we believe these key features or key mechanics, it could help our brands and sellers to grow a stronger relationship with our customers on a more personal level. And at the same time, it opens to unlimited ideas for them to create content as well as to drive conversion.
Interesting. Mas Winston?
Maybe I'll share if people want to start something or if people inside the company want to make a new initiative. For me, there are two most important things. The first one is the industry. No matter how good the idea is, if we are in the wrong industry, if no one is buying it, then the product will not be able to take off. So choosing to be in the right industry is the first step and is the most important step for any kind of initiative or any kind of new venture that we are going to start. The second is the team. The team who's going to execute it is the most important, the second most important part. The product, the strategy, the marketing, everything else comes afterwards. But these two should come in the beginning and should be the most important thing. And maybe one more sharing is staying on our own lane is very important. For us as IDN Media, we always have our business principles, our value that we believe we're going to do it in the next decades, 20, 30, 50 plus years. Let's say in the past 3 years ago, when the capital in the tech industry is there are a lot of capital in the tech industry. Many companies switch from finding product market fit to just burning as much money as possible as their main strategy. But it doesn't align with our principle. It doesn't align with our value and our strategy. So we keep staying on our own lane. yes, we can see, oh, that company is doing this, that company is doing this, but no, we kacamata kuda lah. We focus on what we do, we focus on what we believe we do, and hopefully it turn out to be right. And also for individual, it's the same thing. We can always be jealous or envy of our friends doing other things, but if we know what we are going to do in the next 10, 20, 50 years, if we know what kind of legacy, what kind of impact we're going to have in this life, and we focus solely on our craft to make sure that we are a better version than yesterday, I think that is always have to be the strategy and the mindset for individual or even a company. Yeah.
Very deep, and full of wisdom right there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our panel here has given us a lot of insights and experience and wisdom, perspectives that are super useful about content innovation and also monetization. So I wanted to open up the floor for Q&A from you guys. So raise your hand if you have any question, and the microphone will come to you. Maybe the gentleman with blue shirts over here and then pink shirt over here. Please, microphone. Okay. Please keep your question concise and to the point so we can accommodate as many questions as possible.
Yep. Thank you, Mbak Dita. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Hendra. Basically, I want to ask all of you guys, what do you think about the tipping point of everything is a content materials? I mean, like, you know, everything, literally everything now become a content. Everyone become a content creator, but I believe that there is something maybe it could be dangerous in the next few years maybe. And the second question is how we define the authentic and genuine content. All of that, I mean, we know a lot of content right now is like shitty or techy, but are we believe that that content is authentic and genuine? Because I mean sometimes they have a lot of engagement, view, and those metric, but it's sadly it's just vanity. And yeah, what do you guys think about that? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody who wants to answer that?
Yeah.
Tipping point, everything is content, and how to know authentic and genuine content.
I think if I can start first. So thank you for the question. That's a very fantastic question. So there's a saying that, oh, by the way, I also used to work for Metro TV, by the way, but back in the day. So actually, among people in broadcasting industry, there's this saying, controversial is the nicest touch of entertainment. So that is why more and more people are trying to go viral by creating conflicts. And then if you want to know, that's actually scripted. So if you ask about how to differentiate about the genuine type of content or authentic one, actually you can tell. As a viewers, as audience, and I believe in Indonesia, people here, we already know which one is authentic, which one is, just set up. And I think it's really, it has highly imperative if we can create the content to remember that we want to deliver a meaningful information. So I think it's very famous that in Indonesia in particularly, that when people want to get famous, they just, jump into the bandwagon and then just do whatever people do because they know, oh, that one will make me famous. But that kind of instant move, it won't stay long. It will just be there, be in the, be recognized by people, but it won't stay long. So that is why it's really important to have an authenticity in the content because you will garner loyal fans, loyal viewers. And they will still there because they know the content itself, it correlates with their interests, it correlates with their personality and characters. So I think, yeah, that's from me.
Yeah, if we see 30 35 years ago, the booming of television, free-to-air television, color television in Indonesia. Back then, if you're old enough, I think you know that everyone has the same fear. How can you give license to only several companies? It means that they are controlling the flow of information in Indonesia, right? They can use the television for any kind of agenda. But somehow there are more regulations, people start to become smarter in the way they choose the type of content, and it becomes normal. Now it's the opposite side. It's not only controlled by several companies, everyone can create content. Which one is better? For me, I think the second one. Because right now, by decentralizing the content creation, everyone can create content. I think it's better for us as a society. We are not being controlled by only a few companies or a few licenses. However, as platform, we should always take steps and measures to make sure that misleading information, hoax, incorrect information is being curated and filtered properly. So it's always an ongoing process, but I think we should not go back to 30, 40 years ago when we don't have the freedom to express or to create content. Now is the best time, but whatever regulations or whatever initiative we make should be able to enhance the experience of this free content and freedom of expressions.
I couldn't agree more. That's the beauty of the media and also the platforms these days, because you can never limit the content that people can produce. You can never tell what kind of production, what kind of content that you will see, but you can limit what you want to see instead. And so instead of limiting the content itself, you can limit yourself not to see the content that you want to see. And I think it's really interesting that you highlight that part, because I think in this day and age, people want to have that kind of liberty to really express themselves, to pour out their creative ideas, right?
I think I just need to add more into more creators showing their opinions, right? But we really need to educate ourselves which opinions is, it's actually very subjective. We need to find which creators has, the basic logic, because maybe I want to highlight about, there's so many creators has a logical fallacy in their content. When they dive into, certain issues, we need to really cross-checking the data and also the theory maybe. That's how we anticipate that those tipping point of the content.
Perfect. Thank you. And maybe last question. Tadi the gentleman with the pink shirt.
People are getting more assertive, raising their hands, but only a few minutes left, sorry.
Few minutes left, I'm sorry. But I'm pretty sure the speakers are still gonna be around. So if you have more questions, please catch them outside the stage. Mikrofonnya di mana ya?
Teriak
Mas,
aja, nggak apa-apa.
this one, the guy with the pink shirt. Aduh sorry banget nggak kelihatan dari stage sini. Pink kan ya?
Okay, hello. Good afternoon, sirs, ma'am. Okay.
Please introduce yourself
yeah,
first.
Okay, my name is Rizky Rajasa, and I'm a copywriter and some scriptwriter in a retail company. So I would like to know, I working in a content division also, so it's kind of hard for us to create content, especially for some platform, because we find it really hard if we just mirroring the content. We created one content and distribute to some platforms, and it's really generate the sales or even the awareness. So I would like to know how we maximize our content in multiple platforms, because that things really almost makes us fight in a creative room, please.
So how do we make managing multiple platforms.
Yes, for the content.
Efficient and still engaging, yeah.
Yeah.
Any takes on that?
Okay, this is actually tricky. You know, in content production, in the point of view of media publishers, we have these three category: heroes content, hub content, hygiene content. So if you create heroes content that has a purpose to create awareness, to target, you know, wider audience, it could be, you can dissect it into how to put this. It's actually not false if you mirror the content. If you have the exact specific target audience, maybe you want to get awareness from, you know, publisher, and then you put it into social media, because the phenomenon of multiplicity, how to say it, satu konten itu sebenarnya sudah bisa ditaruh di berbagai platform yang sama sebenarnya. Okay. Jadi so actually Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Short has the similar behavior for the audience, similar consumption behaviors. So it's not really that sinful to mirroring the content if you really want to know the purpose of the content itself. But if you want to create another awareness, you can just, from one hero's content, you can create another product, like, you know, reaction to the reaction content, reaction to heroes content, and then another opinion about the heroes content itself. So that would be my answer.
Right. I just want to quickly add on. So Rizky, right?
Yeah.
So Rizky, I'm just going to give you, and also the other people here, just want to give you a little bit of perspective. Let's say all of you content creators, you want to create a sitcom. So what will be the platform? The social media platform?
You can YouTube.
YouTube, all right.
TikTok.
So let's say it's a 20-minute sitcom, right? So that's the full video, or as mentioned by Amanda, that's the hero product. That's the original content displayed on YouTube. But of course, as a copywriter, and of course, all of us here as content creators, we want our content to go viral. We want to have a promotion on the hero product, on the video, right? So that is how we use other platforms. Like, for example, TikTok. We know that the users are mostly Gen Z, but we cannot put all 20 minutes, of course, because we use it as a promotional tool, right? Yeah. So we need to be careful on selecting the punchline, on selecting the scenes that have the tendency to make people, you know, follow the trend, to make people want to know more about the hero product, to make people want to see the original content on YouTube. So we need to be careful on the objective on the platform itself. So again, for TikTok, we put, let's say, the punchline. Okay. For Instagram, people are still on Instagram. But on Instagram, the characteristics, people want to see the ads version. People want to see the banner version or the high quality promotional video. Then create the promotional video just to promote this original content on YouTube. That's Instagram, right? And for Twitter, it's very fast, right? But when people open Twitter, they just scroll around. So again, carefully pick your keywords in order to really entice the readers. So what is this? What is the tweet all about? Because it has some kind of mystery of it. So when people tap on it, when people read your tweet, they have this tendency to watch the original content on YouTube. So I think, to answer your question in short, it depends on the tools that you want to use, and it depends on the objective of each platform.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rizky, for the question, and thank you, panelists, for the awesome answers. Maybe let's give them a round of applause. And unfortunately, our fun discussion today has come to an end. Our panelists today have talked about content innovation and monetization strategies and offered us a lot of insights and experience into that topic. I hope that you find it as useful as I did. And I want to thank our panelists today, Mas Winston, Mas Ogi, and Mbak Amanda for your time and for your insights. And maybe if I can wrap up a little bit and summarize the key takeaways that we can bring home and always remember is that we really have to find our niche, who's our audience, and we really have to know their pain points, their personal preferences so that we can create personalized content that they like. And we should probably think about decentralizing our content creation so that the cost per content can be more cost effective, and so your monetization strategies can be achieved. And in terms of making content, there's two frameworks that I would like to highlight here. First is fame, fun, attractive, meaningful, and engaging. So that's how we should create our content. Remember fame, right? And then also don't forget about 3H, hero, hub, and hygiene. That's how we also maximize the cost per content, right? We just create one hero content where we mirror that to different platforms, but in adjusting that with each of the platforms' preferences and benefits, right? So with that, I would like to close the session. Thank you again for your participation and enjoy the rest of the summit, guys.